Acting National Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi says they will adhere to the Labour Relations Act in their handling of the Mdluli case. Mkhwanazi says shifting crime intelligence boss Richard Mdluli to another division in the SAPS is a temporary move pending internal investigations. Mdluli was suspended last year following charges of fraud and murder, but the charges against him were dropped and he was reinstated. Fresh allegations of abusing secret funds are now being investigated. Mkhwanazi, who will take over the Crime Intelligence Unit, says suspending Mdluli is not an option at this stage.
In the course of resuspending again, you will understand, if you understand the labour laws, that you can only suspend based on certain reasons. So we are governed by disciplinary code within the police that we are following, and we don't want to make anything that is illegal. So we are following the legal process in dealing with this matter.
Staying with that story, Gareth Newham is the head of the Crime and Justice Programme at the Institute for Security Studies.
This situation has been going on for so long that it's caused quite substantial rifts, both in the National Prosecuting Authority and in the South African Police Service at different levels. Now that it's being shifted sideways, the question still remains is why are there 869 police officials at the last figures we saw, most of who are facing far less serious allegations on suspension?
The case of two men accused of disrupting a lecture by President Jacob Zuma is expected to resume in the Cape Town Magistrates Court today. Both face charges of public violence. They allegedly participated in the disruption of Zuma's speech at the Good Hope Centre in February. It's believed the two men were the ringleaders of the heckling and violence that followed. In the chaos, fistfights broke out and chairs were thrown. An SABC cameraman was among those wounded. At the two suspects' last appearance on the 10th of last month, the court heard that police were seeking video footage of the incident. In other news, the Constitutional Court is today expected to hear whether the Labour Relations Act requires every employee who goes on strike to give notice to their employer beforehand. This after trade union SAMU and most of its members at Equity Aviation Services served a notice as required by the Act and embarked on a strike in November 2003. Kirat Lala has the story.
The Labour Court previously ruled in favour of the workers after finding that the dismissals were unfair because the employees were not required to be members of the union or to give notice to strike. On appeal, the ruling was upheld. The Supreme Court of Appeal reversed the decision, saying non-union members should have served separate notices. In the Constitutional Court, the union is challenging the SCA's interpretation of the Act.
Residents of Sir Lowry's Pass village near Somerset West have been asked to stop their protest action and clear the streets of debris. This as they continue to block off the only road into the town with burning tyres over what they say is a lack of service delivery. Local councillor Johan Middleton says land has been identified, but a public participation process is needed before residents can be relocated to a temporary area with running water and sanitation.
They're still protesting in the road, but we asked them to stop ASAP so that the Premier can come and see them on Sunday. But the Mayor has also phoned me this morning and promised that he will try to make it today to go and see them as well and give them some answers according to what they want from the city side today.
British-born hairstylist Vidal Sassoon has died at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 84. He was credited with revolutionizing hairdressing during the 1960s. The BBC's Alistair Leithhead has more on his life.
His creative cuts helped dress a cultural revolution in the 1960s, and his products have had a place in the world's bathroom cabinets for decades. Vidal Sassoon was born in Britain and opened his first salon in London in 1954. Giving what he called geometry and architectural shapes to hair. His styles freed women's fashion from the high and heavy beehives into cuts that were easy to manage. Wash and wear styles like the bob cut fitted in with the emerging feminist movement. Women were going to work and assuming their own power, he famously said. They didn't have time to sit under the dryer.